So I just hit play. So we are recording. I scoot forward a little bit more. Sorry, it's gonna have to cut this out. I think that's fine. Um, okay, hi guys. I'm Madison, co-founder of Finds, and this is
I'm Anna. I'm also a co-founder of Finds.
and we are joining you here today from different cities. I'm in Seattle. Um, Anna, where are you at today?
I am in Boulder, Colorado today
It's a
in my
fun,
living room.
fun time. We're we've been working on fines for a while, and I think one of the most interesting things that we get to do is as co-founders and like startup founders in the fashion tech space is always being tapped into everything that we like everything that the competitors are doing and getting a sense for like the marketplace and the landscape and what's out there. I'll start off before I forget by saying any of our opinions today are our own. They're not affiliated with any brands or companies that we've ever worked with or are working with today. So just want to make that really clear. Also, allegedly. Okay, we got the legal stuff out of the way.
100%.
Yeah, just us. But Fia's been a hot topic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to kick it off, Anna, but we
So,
kind of wanted to debrief on where we're at and how we're thinking about things.
so they've been top of mind for us only because I think there's a tendency for investors, especially male investors, to sort of ball all of fashion tech into one big basket. They don't really take the time to often differentiate between the products and like what they offer. At least that's what we found in a lot of the conversations that we've been having. So when I woke up last weekend and saw the scandal or the alleged scandal
Allegedly.
everywhere, everything is alleged at this
Mhm.
moment. But basically, it was all over the news, all over Instagram, lots of creators commenting on it. And I felt like a little disappointed, only because I just think for our industry and how niche it is, it gave me pause and made me worry that we were all going to be sort of if affected by this and like whether or not it was going to make people wary of investing in other companies in the space. So we wanted to have a convo about it.
Yeah. And, as we've gone into pitches and talked to VCs, because, we are looking for funding, we're in the pre-seed round, and we've had the question in a lot of our pitches or conversations is like, well, what about Fia? How are you different or similar? And I've been pretty bullish on the fact from day one we are very different from a product perspective and even just customer value. I've been, I think, frustrated as well with the FIA experience. Like I've tried to be a customer unsuccessfully. Like I think it's always good to understand, like I was saying earlier, the landscape of things. And when I heard the news, I it was definitely frustrating, but I was like, the product sucks anyways. Like it doesn't work. Like a browser extension to me is way too much overhead for a user. It's overly complicated. They did have a pretty like streamlined walkthrough experience of, hey, like here, if you're on your phone or you're on your desktop, here's how to download a browser extension and how to make it work. The permission questions that they ask, though, gave me pause. Anna and I have been in tech for a long time,
Well,
so
like Google itself, like the permissions basically are terrifying when you select them for any extension. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's never been an experience that I was like prioritizing in terms of tech and us,
yeah.
especially with fines, because I just think extensions are cool as maybe an accessory to a core product. But having worked in tech, yes, it's the extensions are a lot of privacy permissions that may make a lot of users uncomfortable.
I think that's a really good way of putting it too, that if it makes sense to have an extension, it's an accessory, it's an and, it's not, hey, we're going to build an entire company on an extension. And, they recently had like even a pretty successful round. They obviously have a ton of celebrities and people that are well known that have also personally invested in the company. And I think that is something that sometimes feels like a little icky in the sense of like, are people actually,
Doing their due
yeah, are
diligence.
they doing their due diligence? Are they understanding what's going on? There's been a ton of commentary that we've seen online where people are going deep on the Phia stuff and, the journalists that did their own code review and we're getting a sense of things. Like it's, again, like I said, we've worked in tech. There's like no way that you don't know these things are happening.
Oh,
And
yeah.
building an app is really, really hard to do. Like you own every line of code, even if you're using AI, like these things are really complicated. So it definitely feels icky. And I think from a product perspective, like I had commented on one person's Instagram post about the whole scandal, and I was like, well, the product was
Product
never a real.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, the product sucks. The
Well,
product was never a real product anyways. And they're like, oh, the product doesn't matter. It's about profitability for a company. And
well,
that just doesn't like resonate either with reality.
right. I think one of the things about browser extensions is that they're a lot less lift in terms of setting them up and building them. Not to be, putting them down. They're a great resource for some people if it works.
Hmm.
One of the things that needs to be said is that the company addressed it like, oh, we noticed that issue, we addressed that issue. It's not an issue. That is something that literally has to be coded to happen. So, like, just a little background on cookie stuffing. It's basically very tempting to do. It's happened in the past. There's other companies that have done it. And basically, there is an actual window that's opening behind your cart, correct? And like when you're about to check out, and it basically inserts an affiliate code for Fia. It was allegedly
Allegedly.
inserting an affiliate code for Fia into the purchase when it may not have originated from their extension. So, cookie stuffing, I guess, is a common thing and has happened in the past. But like, yeah, icky is right when you're just like pretending it was like a bug or something, when it's like intentional and absolutely has to be programmed. And that's something that if you understand tech and have worked in tech, you know. So
I,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say too, like to add to that, I think it's like we get these things because we worked in tech and we have an app and Finds is an actual app, which, is a whole other thing we can get into. But customers are getting smarter and smarter as well. Like it's midway through 2026. People are understanding how to shop smarter. They're understanding the tools that are at their disposal. And you have to be, I think, not only incredibly useful as a product that makes it easy for people to have it be the thing they want to use to make their like fashion discovery and purchasing decisions, but you also have to garner a lot of trust and build a product that is like authentically what you're saying it is. And
Mhm.
I think that's another thing that just feels so disingenuous with this is they have, so much publicity, they have so much funding, they have thousands of brands that they've signed on to be brand partners. They've had, I think this is a quote I've heard from someone, I'm not referencing anything, but it was like maybe a $5 million like run rate right now, which isn't near where they're at from a investment perspective. But like there's a business there, but it doesn't feel quite, you know, on
I
point.
think that also speaks to like something being valued at a certain valuation and the pressure that's involved to like meet those criteria that they've set for themselves by having such a like halo, founder. It's like a brand halo because of the founders, obviously. That's the elephant in the room. This is a really well-known tech giant's daughter. And so it's almost like a double-edged sword
Yeah.
because you're like, I'm super famous. My dad's, a billionaire, and I'm getting all this publicity. And then when you have a 45, is it billion or was it 45 million? Some crazy valuation. You end
Million.
up where you're like, what if I don't meet these expectations? It's like this humiliation. So I think, I feel for the pressure there. However, I also think that there's a piece of it that's like, so you had all this like publicity that was gifted to you in a way, and all these celebrities, the Coachella flyer that was
Mhm.
everywhere in New York City with like a gang of celebrities boasting about the investment was just, it seems to me like it was an ill-fated decision to conduct business this way, allegedly.
Allegedly, allegedly.
Yeah.
No, I think you nailed it. And I mean, I would love to hear what you guys have to say as well and your thoughts. So definitely let us know. But it's just a wild time to be a fashion tech founder these days and build something. And
Yeah, and like also just like the statistics of female founders getting funded is like 2%, and then male founders obviously in the 70s or whatever. And then the success rate of male companies is like the lower end, like, and then the women's success rate is higher. So it's just already, duking it out in the industry trying to get funding. It is not an easy route, and it just kind of sucks that this kind of a thing has to happen. But we're making the best out of it because, obviously our decision was to work for 3 years now, building the product that is really, really, robust. And like one of the things I love about what we've done is that even though it's hasn't been like super fast, it's working, and we're not using affiliate links in any way with the Shopify integration that we have. So it just creates this really secure and trustworthy way of keeping track of sales that originate in our app. So hopefully we can have the opportunity to distinguish ourselves from this mess.
especially having an app experience too. Like we're not trying to allegedly see anything else allegedly on your phone or device. So there's
Amen. And we're
yeah.
also like self-funded, and we've been busting our ass for a long time. So it really feels like a labor of love, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. So we'll see where this goes. And like you mentioned earlier, Anna, how the industry and particularly like the investment industry responds to this. And if they're excited about other apps and founders in the space that can help fill the gap that Thea is going to leave because they, did start to have some sort of a market presence. And we'll see what funding looks like as we charge on.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.